time and joining us once again for the Mexican Minute Video Fishing Report. And this is coming from La Paz, Baja, Mexico. And this is going to cover the action for our past week of June 25th to July 2nd of 2017. Listen, let's get right into it, okay? Don't want to hold you up on this, don't want to sugarcoat things, but I'll be straight up with you. If you followed our fishing reports for the last 21 years or so, you know I always try to make it real, keep it squared up with you, try to be honest with everything, because things change all the time, right? Well, you know, a week or two ago, if you've been following our fishing reports, you know that I thought we had turned the corner. We've had a really erratic winter, as have most of the country, actually, from Mexico, all of North America. Let's just put it that way, okay? Snow, rain, wind, whatever. So we've had a tough time down here, and then, you know, a couple weeks ago, it seemed like it was getting better and better and better. Fish were coming on, we're getting more variety, waters were getting warmer, and about 2 weeks ago, I thought we'd turn the corner. You know, the Dorado were coming back like I'd never seen them. We're getting some nice sizable 10, 15, 20, 30 pound Dorado. The Marlin were coming in. We got a little smattering of tuna. The big rooster fish were around. I thought we were finally on it. I thought wow, we're on. We're taking off. The fishing season has finally jumped on board. Well, okay. Long face, sad eyes. This week we probably had one of the worst fishing weeks that I can remember, and I feel really bad for all the folks who came down here, for all the folks that were so jacked up like I was that the fishing had taken off. But here's what happened. We had a combination of several things. Number one, there was a hurricane. Now, it didn't hit us. It's something we watch all the time, but Hurricane Dora, really the first one that we've seen in the area, was hundreds of miles south of us. It didn't affect us in terms of, you know, the water, the weather. We didn't get any rain. It still remained sunny, still about 92 to 95 degrees. Great weather every day, except what it did do is it affected the water in the way that it pushed colder waters up, it brought some swells up, and it brought us a little bit of wind. In and of itself, I don't think that would have been a problem. But the biggest issue that hit us, we got one of these really weird, rare red tides. Try to say that one 10 times fast. A very weird red tide that came in. And what this is the algae bloom goes off. The waters got warm extremely fast. The algae just took off, and it gets so clogged up that it actually in some places turns red. It looks like rust. It looks like brown dirty water, and that's what happened. Water temperatures dropped down 5, 6, and some places as much as 8 degrees. We dropped from water that was in the 80s to water that was in the 70s. In some places we even measured some water temperatures down to the low 60s, and in some areas the water was so dirty, so red, so brown that you couldn't even see if you put your hand into the water. And what this does when all of this algae is going off is it chokes off the oxygen. The fish either aren't in the area, or the fish that we could see just weren't biting. And we went from catching limits of Dorado to barely scratching out 1 Dorado per boat per day, losing a couple. But you know, great captains, not just from our fleet, but great captains in other fleets as well, were coming back with 1 fish, 2 fish, no fish. Haven't seen anything like this in years. So we're, you know, confined to basically looking for triggerfish, some pargo, some cabria, really some tough fishing. Hats off to all you folks that were down here that really plugged in, kept smiling, kept chugging away and pushing hard and working hard for these fish. Most of you did get some stuff, but really I apologize. It was very disappointing for all of us. So I don't want to sugarcoat things. You know, normally I have tons of photos to show you. In fact, I usually have so many photos that I can't get them all in. This week there are very few photos to give you because no photos, no fish. It was just like that. So, listen, let me put it to you this way. Looks like things are going to improve. Usually this doesn't last too long. Usually the water temperatures rise and rise and rise. The algae bloom goes off. These algae come up, but usually not as thick as they did this past week. And then it reaches another temperature and all this stuff burns off. We've got clear blue water. As I'm writing this, or as I'm giving you this fishing report right now, waters are getting a little bluer. We're starting to see some blue patches coming back. Waters are coming down. So hopefully, by the time you're seeing this, by the time you're coming down fishing with us this week or the next week, things are going to be back to normal. We're going to be right back on track. So I've got my fingers crossed. We're talking to the fishing gods, and we're throwing our hands up in the air at this moment because it's just hard to put our fingers on everything. So we're giving it our best, and that's what's going on down here for this past week. And that's your Mexican Minute Video Fishing Report from down here in La Paz. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for joining us. You have a great week. This is Jonathan signing off.